histogram section, and we need to get the lower limit, the upper limit, the frequency, which is the number, the count, and then the relative frequency and the cumulative frequency. Now, to get the lower limit, click there. I just used M6. Well, here's M, and 6 is right there, which is the minimum difference delta value. The minimum in this range from I3 down to the bottom I1003. And that's what the lower limit is. To get the upper limit, I just took this value, which is R2, plus the bin width that we rounded over here, which is this value, 63,520, and that gives me my upper limit. To get the next lower limit, this cell here, I'm just taking the previous cell's upper limit and adding a small value to it. Because our numbers are so large, I just added $1, and you can see the formula there, S2 plus 1. And then you can just drag that down to get those values. And then over here again, I'm just going to drag this down. Now, you know, I've got it set on auto calculation, so every time I change something, it recalculates, which is what we wanted to do with the dynamic histogram. Okay, now the bin label column, you don't really need to do that. All I did there was to take this upper limit value and divide it by 1,000 and then round it off to 0 decimal places. You can use that to pretty up your x-axis if you want to, but it's not required. What is required is getting the frequencies here. Now, to do that, we need to use the frequency function in Excel. We'll select that first cell, type in equal, F-R-E-Q to start typing it, and then I'm going to double click that to select it. And you can see it wants us to give the data array and the bins array. Whoop. The data array is this difference delta column I from that 3 to 1003. And so I'm going to put my cursor in that first cell, I3, Control Shift down arrow to get to the bottom. Now you can play around with the Control Shift up. I tend to mess that up, so I'm just going to grab my little cursor there, drag it back to the top, and I need to put a comma, and then the bins array, which is the upper limits. Select that. Now, important, don't just hit enter. We want to hit the Shift key plus enter key, and that gives us our frequencies. It counts all those values there in each of the cells in the histogram. And I've already with this formula down here in this cell to get the sum 1,000. We need that to get the relative frequency. Put our cursor in there, hit equal, and what I want to do is just take this value and divide it by this total down here. And again, because we want to drag it down, I need to lock that last cell down. So go up here in the formula bar, function 4, and that locks the row and column names down, and hit enter. Now I can drag it down to the bottom there, and that gives me the relative frequencies. To get the cumulative frequencies is pretty straightforward. Equal this cell, and hit enter to get my first one. Now I want to get the sum of this and this, so I go equal that plus this, enter, and now I can just drag that down. Whoops, I missed a little corner there. Drag it down, and you can see the last one is 1. It totals to 1. Really, that's all you need to get going with your dynamic histogram. We have another video that shows you how to make the dynamic part, so look that up. Hope this helps.